And now there is another short story which I wrote, which is actually, that is my expression. I'm a painter, and the desire of a painter, what he failed, and what his imagination and what his ultimate desire to become a painter and his masterpiece. So this piece will read by the Bernard. Bernard is a very skillful actor. He's a director. As a playwright, he worked in my play also, and again the Deborah.
If I could just say a word, if you know the story between Richard Feynman and Einstein, Einstein proposed, theorized complex ideas, right? And Richard Feynman's job was to make it palatable, to make it understandable. I must say, Deborah, you brought, these complex ideas to life through your, in such a short span of time. You walked us through the entire history of mankind, let's say like that,
yes.
And relationships and cultures and all that. So and phenomenal the way you were able to bring all these things to life. So you are the Richard Feynman, right? At one point,
after this story, we'll have a answer question session also.
Oh.
So we can chit chat. If you have anything in your mind, we can discuss.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you very much for coming and supporting me. I really appreciate it. So it's a story of my life. I am crazy. Actually, I am a crazy.
Congratulate me! I am crazy! I yell loudly into my art studio. I am crazy! The sound bounces off the walls in little intervals, then slowly disappears. I'm crazy, I'm crazy, I'm crazy. I, hee-hawing, congratulate me. Crazies are not ordinary. They are distinct. If to become common means to rush into the F train stop in sheepfold in the morning rush before 8 in the morning and tear through the crowd with my elbows and hips while struggling to hold the iron rod of advancement in the middle of the train compartment to get your place. That's not what I want. The goal of every single person in the carriage of life is to hold on to the iron rod, pushing shoulders and elbows into the ribs of others to move forward. I avoid the color-stained sheet lying on the floor, looming the statue of my own face on a pedestal, and start to talk to him. What is the reason that wrinkles appear on your face today? The age of the stone sculpture doesn't increase. It's ageless. I look at the wrinkles that start in the corner of the eyes. They are deeper today. As there were no wrinkles on the forehead before, but why are the lines so profound today? Has some deep thinking deepened the wrinkles today? Or are you not at ease today? With happiness, the forehead becomes free of wrinkles. Oh, yes. Maybe laughter caused wrinkles on both sides of the lips, and laughing too much caused the wrinkles to deepen. The shape of the face seems distorted because their facial features transform into theatrical laughing masks. So don't laugh, people. Stop laughing. I look at my head sculpture and laugh out loud. I look at my sculpture and cackle. This is how many exhibitions my head has been to? How many medals did I get? The head was exactly like a watermelon. Green stripes designed with big wrinkles on the outside. Soft pulp filled with bloody fibers inside, full of seeds. Seeds. One seed. How many heads will hang from the vine by sowing seeds? I'm not in the business of selling heads. I just want my unique, unusual head whose wrinkles are not unfathomable. But who will be the custodian of this head after my death? A woman? If the watermelon is my head, then its seed, semen. That woman is the fertile earth. How many heads will be born from it? The whole garden will be a garden of heads. Who will take care of it? Who will take care of my garden? Yes, and who? A woman. But women do not understand me. If the woman I bring as keeper of my garden, I must love her. I have to fall in love with her. May her beauty be so powerful that my body is under her spell. She would be the gardener of my garden. Her love will fly higher than the dome of the mosque, and her eyes could guard the garden behind the minaret of the mosque. I shake my head. My imagination deceives me. This is delirium. Shiver. It is the wrong creed. Optical illusion. I hold my head with both hands. Is my head slipping out of my hands? No. I must construct my thoughts. I must work. I have an enormous job to do, gigantic, giant in size, whose weight, whose height should touch the sky. I start rationalizing. How big? If there is a height limit? Very big, huge, monster. No. A monster is the devil. It is cunning. It is evil. The good and the limit. The good and the greatest is God. So I should make a painting of God? You're crazy! Congratulations are accepted. You are crazy. How will you give size to hallucination? I shake my head. You are losing your mind. Yes, when man loses everything, he finds God. I must do something big to make a painting that no one has ever done before. I have to make a painting of God by putting him in front of me. Leave everything else. See God first. Today is Friday. Let's go to the mosque. Is it not? It is not a mosque, I ask myself. And I go outside. On the roadway, a board displays Islamic Center. So I walk back into the mosque. Devotees line up for Friday prayers. I stand in the last row so I can imitate the worshipers. What do I see on my periphery, the first person in the third row is standing with his hands open. I open my hands and start praying. Then I see people in my row, 3 praying men with their hands tied on their stomachs. So I put my hands on my stomach. I poke my head out of the queue, and one man stands with his hands folded on his chest. I'm nervous. I talk to myself. Should I read with open hands, or should I read with my hands on my stomach or on my chest? I tie my hands behind my waist and start praying. At the end of my prayer, I turn to my left, Salam Alaikum, and I turn to my right, Salam Alaikum, to complete my rituals. But 2 eyes are piercing my occipital. Then I feel that someone else controls me. Then a hand taps me on the shoulder. That person had forgotten which shoulder the angel writes the account of, good or bad. I turn around and I see a man staring at me. The man whispers, "Your Friday prayer has not been done. You have prayed the wrong way." I apprehend God has caught me. But when I turned around, it was a man. I got irritated. I asked him, "Are you God?" The man said, "Hawla wala quwwata illa billah." I place my trust in Allah. There is no might or power except by Allah. After the reading, the man disappears into thin air. He vanishes. I look for him a great deal, but that person was nowhere to be seen. I understand that he is the devil. Is Satan allowed to enter a mosque? I'm a little disappointed. God isn't found here. I leave the mosque without taking part of the funeral prayer so that I too would not be buried with the poet. I walk on the side of the road thinking about something. A church is a short distance away. I stop in the church. Wait a minute, I say to myself. I don't know why the language of my thoughts became English. Oh, most churchgoers are English speakers. Outside the church, a statue of Mary stands tall, 4 times larger than normal human size. Mary holds God's Son in her arms. Happily, the wrinkles on my face begin to disappear. Let's go to church on Sunday. Everyone comes, and God will surely come. I take a bath on Sunday and reach the church at time of morning prayer. It is such a beautiful church. I wish I had a studio like that, which I could use for my paintings. A church as big as a Greek palace, a grand church of brick and stone walls with a cross on huge pillars. I think it's not the church, it's God. I jump up the stairs of the church and enter, and feel as if I'm walking on a cross. A long street lined with beautiful wooden benches on both sides. I stand in the street and begin to guess, looking right and looking left, and it seems that there's a curse on the left side, like someone plaguing. I get a burning sensation of burning flesh. There are sobs, screams, pitiful sounds. Voices begin to rise as if people are burning in the fires of hell. The rows and benches on the left were fragrant. Another street crosses the long street towards the end. As I stand in the middle of the cross and at the head of the cross, Father turns the pages on the Bible. A page of the Bible stands on its own and flexes side to side, right to left. The fragrance on the right are attracts me again. I take a deep breath and fill my lungs with oxygen, all the oxygen I can. I get an oxygen wire and my eyelids become tied. When I take a breath, my eyelids start to close. I close my eyes. On the right are flowers and flowering plants. A burning, rotten stink on my left and scented incense on the right. I stand there in between heaven and hell. I begin to appreciate the power of God. It has the swiftness of an eagle that catches birds by swooping down, like a cheetah grabs a buffalo by the neck. Is God very powerful? He decides to give his image or likeness to the man with features and characteristics that resemble that of a male. Therefore, God is male. But why not female? The individual's veins course with an abundance of strength. I look to my left and roll my eyes. A lovely butterfly flutters above the flowers. As I gaze at the wings, I can't help but notice the intricate carvings etched onto them. The attention to detail is truly impressive, as is evident that the artist has taken great care in applying the colors. The hues are rich and vibrant, and the brush strokes are absolutely flawless. It is crystal clear that the artist has utilized expensive brushes and a firm grip, as there are no slip-ups or mistakes whatsoever. All in all, the wings are a remarkable work of art. Mastering this skill takes time and effort, with dedication to consistency, practice being the key. The amount of effort required varies, but embedding the essence of many teachers' teachings into one's fingers is essential for impressive outcomes. I chase after the creature full of scents, designs, and colors. I experienced a sense of enchantment and allure in the delicate, beautiful nature of God. As I follow the fluttering wings of a butterfly, my path leads to a peaceful garden. The garden consists of square boxes, like a chessboard, each containing a tree. As I walk along the edge of the garden, I notice a dry trunk of a tree lying there. It seems to have been cleaned with a scraper. The rough surface smoothed by a wooden rasp. The texture of the trunk feels soft and smooth as a woman's skin. Although my initial plan was to lay on the trunk, I make the decision to sit down instead. I observe the tree's leaves, intricate carvings which resemble chess pieces. There are some kings and queens, bishops, pawns, and horses. The power of God can be likened to a chessboard with two sets of pieces, one white and one black. I strongly believe that the game of chess encompasses their entire universe. Both groups have a desire to emerge victorious from their competition against one another. I'm not interested in this game. Instead, I am seeking to find God. Far from the chessboard of these trees, the plow rustles in the bushes. A stunningly beautiful discovery was found inside. I depart with a frown on my face. I lose the presence of my mind and my eyes are torn. A halo of light encircles the woman's body. The image depicts Jesus or Mary with a halo behind their head, like a painting. My eyes have never seen such beauty before, and I begin to feel the loss of control over my senses. The shadows of the trees are moving slowly and have now stopped. The rustling leaves produce a lovely symphony of nature. I am unsure of the planet where this beautiful individual was born. Phrase, walking, breathtakingly beautiful person catches my sight and sits down beside me. We lock eyes and are both taken aback by the intensity of our gaze. My lips move, and I dare to ask, why did you choose the seat next to me? The uncovered, stunning woman replies,
all the places are the same.
I say, oh, but you are an ascension, such a height that there is no place in this world that I can climb to absorb the height of your beauty in my mind. The charmer smiles and is reassured.
It's just your imagination, simply a contemplation.
I'm surprised. It means you don't exist? Beautiful laughs as music fills the air.
I am a phantom, an illusion. Take what you will. Whatever you like, your attention, imagination, and imagination is part of nature.
Aren't you real? She smiled.
I live in your imagination and thoughts, my existence, my non-existence, my being alive is part of nature.
I reply, I am not able to conceive of such a great wonder. My imagination fails to create such an exceptional challenge. You are indubitably a superior personality whom only God can choose. Or are you a god? The gorgeous female smiles.
Your thoughts are your inner truth.
Then there is no inner existence.
Absolutely yes. Undeniably, there is an inner existence.
I ask again, if man commits annihilation and death, isn't life perishable?
Yes, of course. People like you who think independently, you are the king of the kingdom of your thoughts.
Whose bounds of truth are infinite?
You have been born in different lives and in different bodies. What has God given as a gift to mankind so that beauty is created again and again?
But this, what is the material form of inner life? Extreme beauty smiles and dictates her eyes.
Just like this life, you relish this life cycle. True enjoyment is knowledge, awareness, and consciousness.
Your words are so delightful. There's so much satisfaction in them, reassurance, and the consolation of the mind. If you leave, my life will be a disaster. Can reality change into a hallucination? No. I'm mentally ill. I'm crazy. And then she spoke.
You are sick because your work is not finished. You are tired because you are sacrificing your health for your thoughts. The time is not far when you will sacrifice your life for your work. You have been blessed with this gift of nature which continues to inspire you, keeps you active. It brings life to your thoughts.
Am I mentally ill? I'm crazy, I scream. But then the beautiful lady says,
Bookman says, Wise people are usually mad.
But I am mentally ill.
My friend, ordinary people start pushing to climb higher, like sheep and goats. Their body is their physical health. If you want to be physically healthy, join the herd of sheep and goats. Special people are different. And being different is their gift.
I grunt. You somehow join my soul. Listen to my most secretive thoughts. And then beauty asks,
What is the inner truth?
I say, hallucination. As soon as the hallucination ends, the beautiful female's body begins to dissolve into space, and she becomes part of the atmosphere. Her beautiful face, arms, legs, hands, and only her two beautiful breasts remain on the wooden trunk. They also start to dissolve, leaving only two nipples. I pick them up and put them into my pocket and I walk home. Giorgio's nymph cannot get out of my thoughts. Everywhere I look, I see that beauty coming out of the walls. I try hard to get into my thoughts, but she is stuck in my mind like a beautiful song that I was humming, even without wanting to. To tell you the truth, I like it too. It is a strange penchant to think about her. It is a pleasure to see her body and face. Beauty's images are locked in the vault of my mind. One day, the memory of the beautiful woman starts to haunt me. Dissatisfaction, restlessness, misbelief, unbelief, and doubt about faith begin to make me uneasy. I go and fetch her nipples from my jacket pocket and place them on the seat of the chair in front of me. A prayer of desire comes from my heart. And the nipples begin to turn into full breasts. And in the same way, slowly, that nose, eyes, forehead, face, neck, and the whole body, that complete beauty was sitting in front of me. I beg of her, don't you ever go away. Your presence gives me peace. Being near you makes me breathe. Novelty comes to mind. Your existence is a miracle, a light whose light may not be able to bring even the Koitur mountain where Moses saw the divine light. But I have so much strength that I can bear it. Because you sympathize with my thoughts. All the nooks and crannies of my mind light up with your coming, as you have lit the candle of thoughts in me. The sun is shining on your head, and it's refreshing your body. All the shadows of the trees are moving. But why is your shadow still? From the dewdrops on the leaves, the rays of the sun are throwing all colors of the rainbow on your body. If this is not a miracle, then what is? And the beautiful lady says,
Miracles are beyond comprehension. I am incomprehensible.
I reply in surprise, you are truth. Your rank is high, higher than the stars, than the heights of nature.
Me? Higher?
She smiled.
Your rank is higher than the stars. If you are not high, then you are not an artist. You are the king of your kingdom. You are the leader. You are the owner of eternal life. You are God.
I muttered, me and God? I thought you were God. beautiful smiles again.
Imagination is a tree, eternal, immortal. But tell me why the city of your life is desert. It is one style, one color. It's equability, doubt, distrust, anxiety, excitable, fear, frustration.
Yes, because I am a painter. My life is boring, unpleasant, monotonous, unsatisfying. I'm always apathetic.
You have doubts about being God's hermit. You seem to have an incredulous manner.
I've always been poor, a wanderer, a vagrant. Like these nomadic clouds, my condition is like that of an old man who catches a cold and suffers from a cold. He has neither joy nor despair. But my soul is happy, enlightened by the way of God. And that is what makes me superior from beasts whose souls are dead. They are quadrupeds, like the donkey of a worker who spends his whole life carrying bricks from a brick kiln. Thankfully, I am not a slave, nor do I claim to be out to save mankind. The light coming from the small window of my house cannot even illuminate the garden, but the light within me is enough. The demands on me to find God, to find the truth, are increasing, but truth meets the demands of the soul, no less the mandates of the soul, and therefore does not in the least satisfy the predatory need of the artist's life, who can only decorate the walls of his house with beauty. Art is for the satisfaction of the artist's soul. Beauty took my hand.
You have conquered my mind, my heart, and my conscience.
I want to take her to my studio, but she says,
Wait now. I want to watch the stars falling from the sky, the black sky with you.
I anxiously await for night. A single moment is like the weight of a stone whose chain is tied to my feet and cannot release from me. I can't bear to wait for the night. I have a suggestion if you like. I paint landscape at night. The beautiful lady says,
No. The landscapes are political. Where politics and science unite, I cannot live there. I am truth, a spiritual song and quatrain in corpora.
I was surprised. I am the one who touches your body. I grab a hold of her hand. I take her to my bedroom, and she starts to remove my clothes.
If you're a seeker of truth, you will have to get rid of the cloak that drapes over you. You don't have to disguise yourself as rich or poor, just you. It must be you. You and you.
I lay down on my bed, and she lay on top of my body. Her nose was touching my ear. There's a few inches between my lips and her lips. Beauty asks,
Where's your aorta?
I place her hand on my aorta. She said,
I want to be near your aorta.
and she buries her whole body into the grave of my life. At once I am so thirsty that my throat becomes parched, like dry acanthus thorns growing in my aorta. I get up and open the window pane and start calling the black crow. Oh, black crow, bring me the stone. I am thirsty. I want to quench my spiritual thirst. In front of my house on the electric wire, the crow said, various spots on my arms, like trees growing in the forest. And from the pores of my arms, an oily substance, the color of the body, began to leak out like the juice of cheese curds coming out of a muslin cloth. Different colors start leaking from different parts of the body. Green starts coming out of my face and beard area, and different colors from every part of my body. I keep collecting them in different bowls. I prop a large, white, human-sized canvas on an easel. My fingers grow as long as the brush. I put a mirror as tall as my height on the side so I can draw a line on the canvas by looking at it. I look at myself, naked, in the mirror, and see the beautiful girl, naked, standing in front of me, staring at me. Although my face is staring at the canvas, I see myself in the mirror as this beautiful girl. And I begin to divide the canvas and draw the features of the beautiful girl with burnt wood of charcoal black. I make a map before erecting a great building to identify the features of the beautiful lady and her clavicles. Holding her breasts in parallel distribution is so accurate that my eyes freeze. She is not even leaving a minuscule difference of the principles of aesthetics in the division of the whole body in one image. The lady's broad shoulders are beyond the imagination of the human body. The length of her arms and hands is so perfect that my hands shelves on the canvas. The colors of aesthetics include in the biology book are playing a spell on my nerves. I fill the drawn lines with colors as if I'm going to complete all the steps to finally reach God. I forget all the needs of my body. I am not hungry nor thirsty. My body doesn't tire. I cannot sleep. My hand moves like a machine, as if all the power has gathered in my fingers. Many days, many nights pass, and I work continuously, constantly. My legs leave my body, and I fall to the studio floor. I start to feel some pain on the backbone of my shoulders. I touch this area with my right hand. I feel wings have started to come out of me like Gabriel's. When I look at myself in the mirror, the wings aren't present. But the flapping wings I can hear loud and clear. Is it a sign of my fanaticism? Slowly, I begin to see the reality. A painful smile spreads across my lips. Is extremism great? But is not the intellect welcoming the greatness of fanaticism with a smile? I feel the position of the greatness of fanaticism is not met by the angles of reason. I don't understand anything. I desperately want to search for a prudent one. When I begin to cloak the hallucination, I see Socrates walking towards me with a bowl of poison in his hand. Socrates said, "Drink this and you will understand the truth, because you are wise, you are kind and gentle. Hallucination is revealing itself. Your own disease is diagnosed with it, not the cure." How happy Buddha would have been if he had been cured. I never tried to find the cure for this happiness in self-consciousness, nor could I smooth his nerves. I immediately took the cup from Socrates' hand and gulped it down. My wings disappeared. I run my hands over my shoulders. There are no scars or marks. My doorbell startles me. I press the security button to find out. It was my assistant, Debbie. I press the buzzer and say, "Come in." I was anxious. I run to the door. I tell Debbie the good news. I have successfully completed the stunning masterwork of my life. Masterpiece. Debbie fills with emotion and joy and expresses impatiently.
I am proud of my teacher. I would like to see it immediately.
Taking out a paper from her pocket, she extends it toward me.
But first, read this doctor's report.
I'm very happy.
The doctor has diagnosed you are vigorous and your mental condition is perfect. You are healthy. You have no disease.
I scream loudly. I put my head in my hands. No, no, no! I will not be able to serve God with my intelligence or intellect. My happiness is my extremism. The greatness of fanaticism is beyond reason. I tear the medical report and throw it away. For God's sake, tell the doctor to give me a medicine that will make me go mad. I love my barrenness. Do not do the injustice of making a mental sculpture on me. I don't want to join the herd of ordinary people. I take Debbie's hand and take her in front of God's painting. You will be proud of your teacher. Look at God's features, his beauty, his complexion. Debbie stares dumbfoundedly at my face as I bring her to the canvas. She turns to me and focuses her wide eyes on me and says,
The canvas is empty.
Thank you so much. Bernard, Deborah, amazing. God bless you. I mean, you really gave the life to my writing, and I'm very happy. Yes. And now we are open. If you have any question, I try myself to answer it. But so the stage is open.
I think you said it right, you know. What bless you? God bless you? Where is it?
That's what the hallucination is. That he want to hallucinate. If he is normal human being and he doesn't hallucinate himself, then he is like a herd, like the regular people. The regular people, they follow whatever the other people does. But he is proud of his hallucination. Hallucination is extremely thinking of his creative energy and creative state of the mind, where he can hallucinate and paint. And the hallucination is his intelligence. And when he found out he is normal, he is not crazy, he does not have any disease or sickness, then he got mad. He said, give me the medicine, so I want to have the higher state of the mind where I can hallucinate. The hallucination is intelligence. Otherwise, the normal people cannot accept the normal things.
Absolutely.
So if you are abnormal, then you are above the regular.
I think, you know, what Mumtaz said, you know, was that what I could gather from it, you know, that we are the creations
Yeah.
of the creator's confusion,
Yes.
right?
Amazing. Very beautiful.
And
You say abnormal, I will say supernormal.
Yes.
Oh, that's another
That's
beautiful.
an
Yeah.
artist.
Abnormal.
That's
I
an
don't know the
artist.
correct word for that.
Yeah.
I would say you are crazy.
Thank you.
It's so much good.
yeah.
You don't think you are more crazy. You put in one perspective.
So we mean, you know, sanity is actually the absence of creation. You know, once you become sane,
Yeah.
there goes your creativity.
Yes. If you are a normal and if you find the reason of everything, then you won't be able to create anything. If you are beyond the reason,
Yeah.
then your calculation is somewhere else. Then you don't calculate. This imagination is not the mathematics, the calculation.
What I also notice, you know, that you are constantly going in and out of, you know, this sanity, you know,
Yeah.
There's the vision is there, the vision disappears. There's interference and disappearance constantly. I think very much a portrayal of a normal life, wherein we are always coming in and out of, one conclusion, moving into another one, concluding one thing, then getting back into confusion. I think it's a very powerful, relatable story and relatable. This is a self-portrayal.
Yes,
Yeah.
very much,
Yeah.
very much.
Very
When I,
powerful.
Yeah, it's very beautiful story, beautifully performed and narrated by your team member. And like what I see is like it's you. It's crazy. We know how crazy you are,
Oh,
and I mean
yeah,
I'm
you
sure it's
saw it.
happening to you all the time.
Yeah.
That's what we see, and definitely how you painted an artist is like so true. I mean, even if the very minor stage is the lowest stage also, I mean, you have to get here and there, and only then you become a creator, which you just say as a god as well. So that's very beautiful. Just one question I have about this English translation of your book. Your stories are, we have been listening your stories in Urdu and read this book, Love Soom, Tasveer, I'm sure that is the name in Urdu. So what my question is that you translate, and it's like, I heard this story, it's very, very, nicely, well translated piece in English. So, but your stories, most of the stories, they are, I would say, like, they describe our typical scene or typical things what happens in villages, and your language, your dialogues are all related to those specific area. So how difficult it was for you to create all these things from one language, Urdu to
another,
English?
yes.
Because I'm doing a little bit translation from English to Urdu, and it's like
Yes.
it's very, very difficult, especially things you wrote. It's
Yes, I agree with you. When in the beginning, I was thinking that I should pick up the stories which is more into the Western world. Then I discussed with one of the very, he's a publisher and also is a writer as well. So then he gave me the statistics. He said, this is the country. The people like to know the other cultures and other religions. I mean, this culture they know. If you put, then he gave me so many books example. I mean, one of the book was the Kimiagar, which is, he said one of the biggest book is the biggest example when he wrote, and in 1 year, the 7 million people bought this book, because that story was not around this country. That story was somewhere in Lebanon or in Greek or somewhere. So the people are more interested, the exotic atmosphere. But the thing is this, no matter where you go, the human emotion, the love, hate, all those emotions are similar. No matter there is a female is educated or illiterate from the village, their emotions does not translate into any language. So the emotions are similar, but it's only the environment, and don't worry about that thing. And when you translate, but your translation has to give that kind of environment so the people from this country, they can relate themselves. You can tell, the geographical situation could be the different anywhere. They can imagine that the geographical, but the emotion and the language, if it's a marketable language, this is another,
marketable language.
this is another very, 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 from very experienced and the bestseller guy who said, no matter what language you read, when you translate, it has to be a marketable language. When the subjects are interesting, your language is a marketable, you will sell like a hotcake. So these are.
So was it difficult? Was it very difficult, or how did you find that when you were translating? I mean,
Well, I've been writing, translating, because then original artwork, then the most of my films are original. It was not translation. So I've been switching back and forth. I'm translating, I'm writing original. So if your thoughts switch back and forth, then you will come up. And another thing is this: read and read in the public, in front of the people. Get their opinion. Not necessarily only the the writer opinion, all the layman opinion also. Get their opinion. That's why I do. I read my short stories everywhere. I at first I read them and then I get the opinion and I'll see the vibes. They like it, then those stories I picked it up and then I translate, I put in my book.
Very good, very excited and very
Thank
happy.
you.
Best of luck.
Are you satisfied with your translation? Can you translate everything, all your emotions, every feelings?
Well, very good
Translation
question.
does not justify, I think.
Yes, it's a very
What do
good
you
question.
think?
Yeah, it's very difficult to translate my emotion into the words. I'm a painter. I'm a first painter, and then the writing came at the end. I imagine I'm a filmmaker, I'm a painter, and then writer. The writing, I had so much difficulties. I have so many ideas in my mind, and then I cannot. I always looking for a writer. Okay, I have this idea. I want to make the film on this idea. Then I went to my teacher who was giving me the workshop of a filmmaking workshop. I went to him. I told him, listen, I have so many ideas, but I cannot do the film on all those ideas. He said, write a short story. Write a short story, and then keep it, documentation. And then you can, when you have a money, you pick up one of your short stories and start making the film. So I started writing, and then my first book in 2009, when I took all those short stories, I went to the publisher. And I gave all the manuscript to the publisher. I said, okay, can you look? I'm telling you the truth, I was not aware of how the short stories and afsanas are. I have no clue. I was not experienced, the experienced writer or experienced thing. This was the first book come out of my heart. I just write it and I gave it to him, and the publisher said, please come day after tomorrow. 2 days he took to read my manuscript. Then I went and I met him, and then he was a Punjabi guy and he has a very special word. I tried to translate, but in his word was very interesting. He said, 200 books published from my publishing house every month. All the writers are on this side and you're this manuscript on this side. This is unbelievably different. It has an international flavor and all kind of a different flavor in this your book is. But I was more curious, oh, you're gonna publish my book or no? He said, definitely I will publish your book. That was, so then I started reading the masters in Urdu. I was reading in English also because all my films are in English. So my experiments was more into the international cinema, Italian, Russian, the French cinema and all those. But when I started writing in Urdu, then I started reading, and then I've been writing over and over again, and then film scripts, and then so this is my journey. But the journey starts from painting, from still images, moving into the moving images.
Compliment the actors.
Yes.
They did a very
Yeah.
I really thankful to the library, and they gave me ample, beautiful space and all the facilities. I really appreciate. Thank you so much for all.
And thank you for bringing this to life.
Yeah.
Thank you,
It was so great.
Deborah and
bringing this to life.
Serge also.
You guys are phenomenal.
Phenomenal, yes.
And a bit of crazy too.
And this is my biggest sport also. When I read or write something, so Bernard and Deborah and all those, my actors are the biggest sport. So we discuss with each other, and they give and because Bernard is a writer and director also.
Okay.
Yeah, so
wonderful.
I'm fortunate that I have.
Have you, I mean, your acting while you're performing these things, have they ever impacted in a way that he had to, that it served as an editing for him? All right, you know, you can make some improvements based on your performance of that. Have you ever gone through that experience?
You mean
Very-
changing the lines?
Yeah.
Not so much. No, not changing the lines. It's more about like, I'm also directing right now, so it's interesting to have this exchange of like how to bring it to life. But we never really changed the text because
Yeah,
it was never
especially,
necessary.
you know, when you were acting out the crow, you know, it's unusual. It's and I know
The
this is,
sounds, yeah.
Thanks, it was so good.
Thank you.
Naveen, Naveen.
बड़ी नवाज़ है।
Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe.